Welcome. My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And I've got a new project here for you today. It's going to be actually a series of projects. And I showed you this many times in the past. I have this Faith Basics line in my coffee shop. And the premise of these is to I've got like tickets and tags and word strips and journal cards and notebooks and postcards, file folders, all these kinds of things. And they all are faith-based. So, and they're all in neutral colors. So the premise is to take these elements and add them to any of your journals, any of your digitals, to make them into faith journals. And they've been very popular. And I decided to take it another step or another direction for a little bit here. Some of you were asking about some of the projects that I've made with these. So what I decided to do is I decided to make a series of folios. And I'm not sure at this point how many I'm going to make, but this is the first one. Let me just see, it's actually this way. So here's the first one, and it's like a wallet kind of folio, like that. There's a pocket actually on the front here. Should show you so there's a pocket in the front and there's a pocket in the back here. This one is not decorated at this point. And I have a piece of Velcro holding it closed, and then it opens up like that. And then there's quite a few pockets here. There's tri-pockets, slanted pockets here, and this top one goes all the way down to the bottom. And then there's a big angle pocket here. There's 3 nested pockets on this side, and those ones, like this one will go all the way down to the bottom. This one goes all the way to the bottom, so this is a really deep pocket here. And then if we look on the other side, there's these curved edge pockets. There's a shallow one and a deeper one, and then a big side pocket here. So I'm going to show you how I put this together, and I'm going to show you how I decorate it with my Faith Basics line, and just give you some inspiration if you want to try these out. So here's the digitals for the first one. And this one is kind of a neutral, distressed, grunge sort of colorway. And I'm going to do a series of folios in this colorway. So probably 3 to 5, something like that. And then I'm going to make some other folios in different colorways. So then I can have, I want to show that these basics, these Faith Basics, can work with many different colors. So I thought I can do blues, I can do greens, I could do vintage red, black, white, whatever, different things like that. So this one is kind of the neutral. It has a little bit of peachy tones in it, whites, a lot of distressed look. So here's the folio base. And this is a background sheet that is included. And this background sheet can be printed on the back. I used about 28 pound, 32 pound actually, I think, copy paper. So, and you can definitely just print that on the back and that would be fine as well. But I decided that I'm going to glue these two together and then stitch around the edges, and then that's going to be my base. That's what I did in the first one. And I really like the, I don't know, it just gives it a little bit of a squishy sort of feel. So I've got the 2 layers of paper there, and then I've sewed around each of those panels there. But I'll show you step by step how I'm doing that. This is a flap, so this will give that 3rd panel to the folio there. So I'll show you how to do that. This is just a tall bookmark with an image on it. And this one, all the rest of them actually do not need to be double-sided, just the first one. And here is one of the series of pockets, and I've got a couple of tabs there. I didn't put those all in here. This is just kind of my prototype. And then I've got those 3 nested pockets. And I've got these 3 angle pockets. This is the long side pocket, and this is that label here. And I left things blank so that we can put, I'm calling it Faith Basics Foundations. So you can add things on top, add, you know, pocket decorations and all of that, and then make the folio, you know, take it any direction that you want. So I'm going to get this all cut out, and then I'll be right back to show you how I'm going to assemble it. Right, I got everything cut out, and I decided to change the digital so when you get it, it will actually have letters on it. So it'll be easier for me to say use pocket B than to try to explain which pocket I'm talking about. So I did cut this folio base out, but I did not cut out the background page. Actually, I think I'm just going to trim just the bottom off here. And then what I'm going to do is glue this onto here. So now I can line it up right at the bottom here. And I'm just going to use glue stick for this because I am going to sew around the edges. If you're not going to use, or if you're not going to sew, then you might want to do some liquid glue, maybe the glue stick in the middle and liquid glue around the edges. That's what I usually do. Hard to see where I've been with this glue. I try not to glue completely to the edges because I know I'm going to sew there, and I don't want to sew through sticky glue on my sewing machine. I also usually leave it a little bit to dry before I stitch it. That doesn't feel like very sticky right here. Okay. And then I'll just line this up again here. I'm going to line it up so that this edge is at the bottom. I'm just going to center it there and press that on. Usually I use my brayer just to give me a little more oomph. I had a couple of globs of glue there, so I just want to kind of smooth those out. And then I can cut that out now, or stitch it and then cut it out. I think I'll just cut it out now. I just find this easier to do it this way instead of trying to cut out the shape. I know sometimes you buy a digital and you'll get 2 pieces of the folio shape or whatever shape, and you glue them back to back, and it's kind of hard to get it completely centered and even on all the edges, and this way you don't have to worry about any of that. And you could save that in your scrap bin if you want, or toss it. So there is our folio base piece, and I will stitch around the edges of that. Now what I'm going to do, I also wanted to see if it's too late yet. Before I stitched this, or before I glued this rather, together, I want to stick my flap in there. So I don't think I really need to fold that flap first. I think I'll just put that in here, and I think I'll just do it like that. So just kind of line that up as best you can. And there's our flap. And then this flap is meant to fold in half. So I'm just gonna, so you don't have to print on both sides of the paper. So I'm just going to fold it up to that cut line. I'm going to be stitching here, so it doesn't really matter if it is glued there or not. I'd rather have it just a touch away from the edge because it's easier to fold. And then when I ink the edges, it's not going to matter there at all. Got a little glue there. All right. So then this will fold in like this. So I probably will put a bit of glue on there now. And fold that in. And I'll just maybe put a bit more glue here since I opened that up and put that flap in there. There. And then I think I'll just let this, I'll put that aside to dry for a few minutes. So on my pockets, I decided I'm going to stitch on the top edge of each pocket, just for a little reinforcement and some decoration. Because these kind of fold back, I'm not going to stitch on the sides. So on these angle ones, it's just that one edge on the angle there. On this one, it will be here on that edge. And I'm going to stitch all the way, like on here, I'm going to stitch all the way on the white as well, because that'll reinforce the tabs a little bit, and you fold them in and that will keep the stitches in place as well. So these two will just be that curved edge. And these ones I will ink as well after I stitch, or before I stitch, doesn't really matter. It's probably better after, because then you can ink your stitching a little bit if you want. This one will be just that little part across and down, and then I'll just kind of come off here. This one will just be at the top, just at the top, and just at the top. So I will do those and stitch my folio at the same time in a minute. These tabs, I'm going to fold them in half, and just get something else to glue it here. These ones I am not going to stitch. I don't think I'm going to need wet glue, because this is a pretty good glue stick. If you think that you want to have a bit of wet glue in there, you can do that. So there's one. If you don't get it perfectly, that's what inking is for. It's fine. And these tabs, you can decide where you want to put them on your project. And you can put them on your pockets before you stitch, and then stitch them on if you like, if you know where you're going to put them. You can also leave them open and then glue them on like either side of the pocket. But I think I'm going to do it this way. I don't know. Let me see. I think I might put a couple on and just stitch through them like that. So maybe this one on here. So I'm just going to ink around the edges of this tab. There is a bit of digital inking on all of these pieces, but when you trim them off and you get a little bit of white there, then you're going to have that showing as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue here, just to kind of tack it in place. think I will anyway. I'll use this glue for a little bit. Take a break over Christmas and haven't been really working up here. So that one's going to go right about there. I decided. And then these ones don't really look like they need a tab. These three are going to be nested like that. Where did my other tab go? So I could put it at the top of those. I could put it here. I might put it here because this is a really shallow pocket. And it might be kind of good just to give it a little bit extra height there. So again, just a tiny bit of liquid glue just to tack it into place and center that on there. And then when I stitch, those tabs will attach as well. So I got those on. This I think I'm going to glue here again. I did it on my first one, depending on how I want that to go. I think maybe I will score this now. So just kind of move it around. Different printers print slightly differently, so I don't like to always give measurements for these, but you can see very clearly where the folds will be. So just give it a good crease there. And this one. And this one. And on my last one, because there's a little bit of thickness in here, I scored another score on this flap, just about 1/8 of an inch away from the first one. So if you just want to, I scored this one at 8 inches after I folded that, and I'm just going to put it at 8 and 1/8 as well. And then that will have 2 folds, and that will just give it a little bit of a gusset. And that will just, you see that little bit of an edge there, just 1/8 of an inch away, and that will give it a little bit of room to fold over nicely, like that. So, and this one, before you put the pockets on, you can decide if you want it this way or this way. This one seems like it goes this way to me, so I'm going to put it that way. So I'm going to go stitch around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch either side of the fold. I won't on this first one. I'm just going to sew just beside this right score and just beside this left score. So over here and over here, and instead of on the middle as well. And on these two, I'm going to do just to the left, just to the right, just to the left, just to the right. Here where my join is doesn't look very good right now, but once that's inked and stitched and stuff, it will be totally fine. You could overlap it a little bit, I guess, if you wanted to do that, but I'm fine with doing it like that. Just going to do a tiny bit of glue right there. So yeah, I'm going to stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, and then there'll be all these strings hanging off of there. And then when I sew all the way around, it will catch the ends of all of those strings, and then I won't have to worry about unraveling or tying off all of these ends, if that makes sense. So I'm going to stitch that. I'm going to stitch all of the tops of these pockets, and I don't think I'm going to stitch this one. I could, but I don't think I will. But I am going to back it onto something because it is not stiff enough for my liking. I'll just use a piece of manila file folder here, and I'm just going to glue that onto there. Of course, you can glue these or print this folio onto cardstock if you want, in which case you probably don't need to worry about this tag being a little stiffer. There's actually really a lot of ways. Like, I mean, you can put the pockets wherever you want. You can put the in the flap however you want. There's lots of, I'll show you one way to put it together, but there's lots of different ways to put it together. So you can, I didn't put wet glue there, so we'll see how it goes. I may end up stitching after all. If I don't stitch, I usually like to put a little bit of wet glue on it because I find sometimes that glue stick doesn't hold at the edges really well. And I'm just going to use my corner rounder for those corners because it's a little bit easier that way. There, I am happy with the weight of that now. A little bit of rating there, but I'm okay with that. So that will need an ink on both sides. So I'm going to stitch and ink, and then I will be back to show you the next step. Okay, I've got my base stitched all the way around and up and down. Everything is inked, and you can't even tell where that fold is, at least maybe on the camera you can. The camera always kind of shows a little extra things sometimes when I look back. And then if you look at your folio, you have one side that is, or one flap, the flap that's shorter, and it's 3 inches. And then these other two are 4 inches. So you've got 4 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. So if you look at your pockets, you have pockets that are about 3.5 inches wide, and that's all these ones. And then these 3 are narrower. And then this one is meant to be this way, so that one is narrower as well. It's about 2.5 inches. So if you just kind of put them in piles, this is for the flap, and then these are for everything else, and then you can kind of play and decide what you want to do. You can do different types of layering. You can do that one there, you can do something like that there, you can do these like that. These can be layered like that. So I've got 1, 2. What do I want to do here? I kind of like that. I'm going to do it a little bit different than I did my first one. So I like that. And that can be by itself, or that could even have this at the bottom of it. And there's both of the tabs are on the same one. And then on the other side I can do maybe those two and this one, something like that. So, I mean, you can mix and match however you like. So G, I'm going to stick right there. So let's just do that, and then we can figure out what else we want to do here. So this one is G. And I'll just put that one there. I'm just going to kind of center it in the middle. I'm not going to put it right to any of the edges. And I like how that looks with the flowers sticking out there. The rest of this folio, you know, this kind of looks upside down. This I wanted that way because then if I put a pocket, then most of the flowers are up there. This one I might hide some. So you decide which way you want it. It really can be any way. So there is that. And then I'm going to do, on this side, I'm going to put pocket B. So on my first one, I had the flap, or the curved flap. On the right hand side, when you had the folio open, I'll show you what I mean in a second. And this one, I have the flap on the left. So you can do it either way that you want. So this one I had the inside, if you look at the inside of the folio, my curved flap is on the right, and here it's on the left. So if I had put it in this orientation, then it would be on the right. So you can play around with what looks good to you there. So there is that one. Then I'm going to put on top the E pockets. This is different than the first one that I made. The first one I didn't stitch the pockets. I stitched around the rest of it, but I didn't stitch the pockets. But I like stitching the pockets. I like that idea. Just the top, it seems to give it, you know, a lot more sturdiness there. So there is that one. And on the other side, this is kind of the outside. And when we fold this up, this will be what is on the front with this flap. So you can just do maybe a smaller pocket there, do a bigger pocket. Kind of like the bigger pocket there, you know. So I'm going to put this bigger pocket there. My glue is not as quick drying as art glitter glue, so I'm just giving it a couple more minutes, especially at these corners here, to seal that up. And if I put a Velcro dot like I did on the first one, then that will go on my pocket, which is fine. You can also do other kinds of closures, like taking something like this and just gluing it on this side, and then that kind of just goes in and out like that. I would stiffen that a little bit if I did that. You could do 2 round closures. I'm not going to show you that this time, but you've probably seen that all over the place, where you have a circle here, and the string. You kind of just do the windy thing. Or you can put one button here with a string and wrap it around like that. All kinds of different ways. This one I think I'm just going to keep it simple and put another Velcro dot. But as I do other folios, I'll show you how to do different closures on them. So there's that one. Now I could do this here. I don't think I want that there. And I also have the back. So I think I want this on something because it seems a little... I think I'm going to put it on the front. This particular pocket, just because of this curve here, you can see a little bit of the fold when you fold those tabs in. So just trim them off if that bothers you, just so you can't see that right there. Just a tiny little bit. So this is the F pocket. Sorry, I wasn't probably telling you all the names of the pockets. So this is the F pocket. And I can't even remember what that one was. I hope I told you it. I can't even remember now. So there's that one. Then I could put this here. And I have 1, 2, 3. And then not have a pocket on the back. See, these would make a nice standalone project, but they would also be a nice insert in a journal. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is make a set of about 3 of these. I'm going to show you different folio styles, but make about 3 of these in the same colorways, and then use them in a journal. I wouldn't do more than 2 or 3 in a journal probably, because they are a little bit bulkier, because they're going to have tags and stuff inside them as well. But I think I'm going to leave my back just plain. So I can put this here for a double pocket, or I can put it here. I like it there, but I like to have the option to have a pocket there. So I think I'm going to put it here. And this is the D pocket. So you see how you can just mix and match however you like on these pockets? That's the fun thing. Okay, so I'll just hold that for a second. Then I have this pocket, and I could do that on this side, so that when you flip it over, nothing can fall out. Actually, if you do it this way, nothing can fall out. I wouldn't put it this way, maybe, although you could. But then you don't want, can't have anything really sticking out of it any direction unless you did it there or there. Then if it sticks out a little bit, this will stick out here. I think that's what I'll do right there. So this is pocket number H, pocket letter H. And I'm going to do it this way, right? That's what I decided. So you could make, with the pieces here, you could make several different configurations of the folio, just putting pockets in different places as well. So there's that one. And then this, I could even do one of these little slanted pockets. I could even do that here as well, which might be kind of neat because it's got a bit of a blank space there. I can decorate that though. Or I can do all 3 on here, which I think I will do. So I'll glue the tallest one first, which is I. And this is on the other side of the flap. So I gets glued first. Just I'm going to center it again. I'm going to press for a minute. Then I will take the next biggest one, which is J. Threads to trim there. So that is J. And then the littlest one is K. So I'm going to put that one right on top. Like that. So I like how that turned out. So it goes like that, goes like that. Well, it could go like that, but I think I actually made it to go this way. This, and nope. Is that what I did? No. Goodness. Okay, I like this. But you could do it the other way as well. Then you would have the pockets on the back. So I think I'll do it this way. So I need a, well, I think I'll actually do the clasp after. So then I'm going to get my other pieces. And I do have this as well, which I do like on this part here. So I think I'll do the same thing there. And then it can have some sort of a label, heading, whatever. So I think I'll put that there. And just glue this right on here. All right, so my daughter just came and interrupted me, so I took the opportunity to just organize a few things here. So these are all just from my Faith Basics. I have these sepia portraits, lots of postcards, just these little journaling spots. Journaling card, God is Great. There's God is Good. There's a few of those. These are just some florals in some kind of window layering with Bible text, and some of them are blank and some of them have a word. This is one of the identification cards with the Beatitudes written there. So that could be a journaling card, or it could even be a tuck or something. Here's a couple of the tags, Christ the King, and this is a hang tag that I made that says date, reference, scripture, notes, and pouring my art out for the Lord at the bottom. So you can put a little tag on there. I have a couple of words here. I have light in the Scrabble tiles, light and the cross. I have glorification and Christology in the flashcards. Here's a bigger tag that I have, the same style. Then some smaller like postcards. Here's part of the sepia portraits. Just all different kinds of portraits. Here's a smaller one of those cards. Many of these things come in different sizes. Here's just a couple of bold sentiments. Some smaller word phrases. This is one of the bookmarks, so I think I might fold this in half and tuck it in somewhere. Pardon me. So I was noticing that these flashcards fit perfectly here, so I think I'm going to, I said I was going to leave the back blank, but I changed my mind. I'm going to glue 2 postcard pockets at the back. So that's about as far as I got so far. I put this bookmark that was part of the kit into this tall angled pocket there. As I was doing my just kind of preliminary stuff here, I noticed that some of the pockets, you know, if the glue oozed out a little bit, sometimes this one is probably going to be fine, but some of the pockets might be stuck a little bit, and you try to get a tag or something in there, and it might just have a little bit of glue hung up there. So you might need to, of course none of them except that one is going to do that. But you might want to just go kind of edge to edge, just really gently with a bone folder or something, and just make sure that nothing is glued down that's not supposed to be. So I think what I'm going to do, oh, and I also had, I got these from the washi tape store. They're gold glitter stickers. So I thought I might use a couple of those too. So I haven't used these yet. I just got them for Christmas. So I might use a couple of those. And I don't have my tickets out yet. These I will probably for sure use because I use these on every project. So they just have an assortment of different tags and tickets. It just really finishes off a project. So I'll probably use a few of those too. But I think I'm going to speed up this part. I always think it's kind of boring to watch me decorate in real time. So if I speed it up, you can still see everything that I'm doing, but it goes by a little bit quicker. So because your decorating style is different, and you don't really need commentary for that part, I don't think. Anyways, if you if I do something during the speed up part that you want to know more details about, leave me a comment and I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, here we go and fast forward. Okay, I think I've got it put together. I think my creativity may have abandoned me a little bit over the holidays. This is the first thing I've done in a while, and it could use a little help, I think, but I'm happy with how it turned out. I just think maybe the colors could have popped a little bit here and there, but I'm happy with it. I think it'll, you know, if you put it in a journal, I think it'll look fabulous, or even by itself. So I ended up doing a little collage here, just a piece of lace and a piece of rickrack, and I did some stamping in the background there. And this I took from one of my other kits. I have some butterfly jewels, I think I call them, and it just needed something a little different, so I stuck that there. I have my Velcro closure there. Just various things I have put into the pockets, a bunch of things from the Faith Basics. I did a little bit of stamping. Here's one of the ID cards and a label from the Faith Basics. There's a bookmark tag from the Basics and little labels here and there, a couple of washi stickers, a postcard and a tag there, and then just one of the sepia cards and a couple of things in there. Here's that bookmark thing I just folded in half. I'll probably coffee dye the back or something at some point for that, and a little collage there. And then on the other side, here's the bookmark that came with the kit, and a couple of things from the Faith Basics, another little tuck there, little things. Here's, well, I did that one already. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out, and it folds up quite compact. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room. Like I said, I probably wouldn't put more than 2 or 3 in a journal, unless you have a really big journal, but yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. It feels really nice, like it just has a really nice squishy but sturdy feel, so I'm happy with how that turned out. If you're interested in picking up the Folio foundation, you can check out my coffee shop for that, and the Faith Basics are all over there as well. If you go into the shop and then hit the keyword Faith Basics, all the Faith Basics kits and bundles will come up. So yeah, they're sold individually and they're sold in bundles for a discount. So have a look if you're interested, and we'll see you in the next video. Blessings.